Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news today, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. Today our shot comes to us thanks to our Omi Garden Skyfi Tower camera. And beautiful shot as a greening up Wenatchee Valley along the river, but it was a cool one out there today with a little bit of a breeze, some clouds, even some spits of rain in parts of north central Washington. Also, I mentioned it, plenty of wind. And as we move through tonight and into tomorrow, here are our trouble spots as far as blowing dust goes. I-90 George to Ritzville. Many of you take that route if you're headed to Spokane, and also Ritzville on Highway 395 down to the Tri-Cities. That's today through tomorrow. A lot of fields have just been plowed that way, and a lot of blowing dust right now, and more wind tomorrow. Your complete weather details coming up a little bit later on. And now here are some of the stories that we're following for you tonight. A Douglas County man accused in a dog attack last year is likely to plead to a lesser offense in district court. Kai Shelton, the man who led the chaotic robbery of a Douglas County campsite in September of 2019, has pleaded guilty to the crime. And the Washington State Senate approved a measure on Tuesday restricting certain police tactics and gear, including the use of neck restraints and tear gas. But first, our top story tonight. A Wenatchee man faces multiple charges after an hours-long standoff with police that followed an alleged hit and run late Tuesday night. It happened in the Wenatchee WinCo parking lot. Wenatchee police say 47-year-old Scott Allen Brown arrived at WinCo in a 2013 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and then he got into a 1968 Ford Galaxy he'd parked there for sale and was seen driving erratically in the parking lot before allegedly hitting a pole and fleeing in the Cherokee. Wenatchee Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld said it all started at about 11:25 p.m.
Rivercom received a call regarding accident that had occurred in the parking lot between WinCo Foods and the old Rite Aid in the Valley North Mall area. A vehicle had hit a pole, and then the driver jumped in a different vehicle and took off. Conveniently, our reporting party did a great job, gave us license plates from the vehicle the suspect fled in, so we were able to immediately start working information and try to locate that vehicle. One of our officers found the vehicle near 5th and Miller Streets and attempted to make a traffic stop, and the driver fled his vehicle. Our officer pursued to a residence up kind of near the 2100 block of 5th Street, where the suspect driver had gone home without getting caught here up to that point, so kind of a straight shot up 5th Street. Once at the house, the person barricaded themselves in the house, so officers gathered up and surrounded the house and prepared a search warrant, which was ultimately granted to go in and arrest the driver. The other good thing from the reporting party, they actually knew the suspect, recognized him, were able to explain to us why they knew it was that person. So we got much further than we normally would have to a great reporting party. Officers were outside the house shortly after 11:30. And remained there through the preparation of the search warrant and trying to talk him out of the house for an extended period. Officers made entry into the house at 1:34 in the morning under the authority of the search warrant and sought out the suspect, who had disappeared within the house. He was located inside the crawl space a couple minutes later, and he continued to barricade himself in the crawl space and would not come out for an extended period. With the assistance of East Wenatchee Police and Chelan County Sheriff's Office, eventually able to compel him to come out of the crawl space. At different points during his barricaded period, he was alleging he was armed with a firearm and would kill officers or force officers to kill them. Thankfully, through much of their contact with him while he was barricaded, they kept seeing him and seeing empty hands, so they were able to kind of have a better idea of what was actually going on with him, which was no firearm.
A Douglas County man accused in a dog attack last year is likely to plead to a lesser offense in district court. 63-year-old Timothy Dale Houston was charged with the crime of owning a dangerous dog after a Wenatchee woman was severely bitten in January 2020 on No. 2 Canyon Road. Lawyers this week agreed to strike his planned April 20th trial date, saying the case would be resolved with a non-felony charge in the lower court. Houston allegedly told police he led his 4 dogs out of the car while he napped alongside the roadside and awoke to find them attacking a woman who was jogging past. The victim required stitches for multiple bite wounds, including facial injuries. Wenatchee Valley Animal Control seized all 4 dogs. Kai Shelton, the man who led the chaotic robbery of a Douglas County campsite in September of 2019, has pleaded guilty to the crime. Shelton, who's 33, was sentenced Tuesday to just over 5 years in prison for second-degree robbery, second-degree assault, and reckless endangerment for bringing 4 children along when he attempted to ransack a deer camp with his partner Becca Rosenberg and 3 other men. The group loaded a set of generators into their own vehicles before the occupants returned to the campsite, and a confrontation ensued while the children waited in a getaway van. Rosenberg pleaded guilty last summer and was sentenced to 17 months. The other accomplices are serving 5 and 6-year sentences. The Washington State Senate approved a measure on Tuesday restricting certain police tactics and gear, including the use of neck restraints and tear gas. North Central Washington senators, including the 12th District Brad Hawkins and Judy Warnick of the 13th, both opposed the overall bill, which passed 27-22. The legislation emerged from police killings of black people in the protests for racial justice that ensued last year. It bans chokeholds and limits the practice of high-speed pursuits. It also allows the use of tear gas only in response to riots in jails or prisons, or to deal with barricaded standoff or hostage situations. It needs final approval in the House before moving on to the governor's office. Well, coming up next, the Chelan County PUD might begin setting aside expensive hookup fees for residents moving into affordable housing. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is rolling out a new kind of patrol team, the Behavioral Health Unit. Crunch Pack in Kashmir has contributed $150,000 toward construction of the new West Kashmir Bridge. And the Washington State Patrol is reminding motorists they need to be prepared to slow down for the Boundary Bridge project up on Blewett Pass. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Low prices. Every aisle. Every department. Every day. We're working to save you money. WinCo.
Now in Wenatchee at 1340 North Wenatchee Avenue.
Make being home fun again. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa has just what you need to bring fun back into your backyard. We have a wide selection of artesian spas and swim spas, new and used to choose from. We are happy to announce we are now selling Rainbow Kids play structures with 50 models to choose from. To help finish off your entertainment area, we have patio furniture and Komodo Joe grills. At Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, we have just what you need to bring family fun and entertainment to your backyard. Stop by today.
Welcome back. In another news, the Chelan County PUD might begin setting aside expensive hookup fees for residents moving into affordable housing. A proposal working its way to commissioners would waive the $1,900 connection fee for people buying a home from a nonprofit affordable housing trust like those operating in Chelan, Leavenworth, and Wenatchee. That would do away with hookup fees for about 20 to 25 new homes per year throughout Chelan County. PUD commissioners this week asked staff to develop eligibility criteria for how the waivers would be applied. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is rolling out a new kind of patrol team. It's called the Behavioral Health Unit. It's a partnership with Catholic Charities in which one deputy, Zach Bruner, works with a designated crisis responder, Anna Gonzalez, to answer calls involving mental health. The Sheriff's Department says psychological issues drive a large volume of its incident reports. Brunner and Gonzalez will offer special services to mentally ill clients who've been contacted by law enforcement. The goal is to offer help to those in crisis instead of incarceration. The BHU team is modeled after a similar program in Spokane. Crunch Pack in Kashmir has contributed $150,000 toward construction of the new West Kashmir Bridge. Chelan County said Tuesday that the Apple Slices and Snacks Company has been a consistent proponent of the bridge project. In addition to its financial support earlier, spoke with legislators about the importance of the project. The bridge gives Crunch Pack and other businesses an alternative route for shipping goods. The old bridge operated under weight restrictions. Construction of the new bridge is expected to be completed late this year at a total cost of $25.5 million. The Washington State Patrol is reminding motorists that they need to be prepared to slow down for the Boundary Bridge project on Blewett Pass. The $4.5 million project near Swak Campground just south of the summit involves construction of a bridge to replace an old culvert. The speed limit on Highway 97 has been reduced to 35 miles per hour through the work area with a concrete jersey barrier separating the lanes of travel. The reduced speed is in effect all day and night, every day of the week during the work, which is expected to continue for much of the year. The Washington State Department of Transportation says the new bridge is designed to improve fish passage for steelhead, cutthroat, and rainbow trout, as well as provide safe passage under the bridge for wildlife like elk. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
It's the huge grand opening of Click It RV in Moses Lake. Click It RV and the RV manufacturers have joined together to offer huge incentives and savings.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Everything is coming up zero, with zero down, zero payments for 90 days, zero worries, lifetime warranty, and zero for a solar panel with any RV purchase. It's a 000 grand opening going on now at Click It RV in Moses Lake. And get into Click It RV for parts, service, new and used during this huge grand opening sale.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
At WinCo, we do everything. Everything. Everything to save you money. Top quality and no membership fees ever. WinCo.
Now in Wenatchee at 1340 North Wenatchee Avenue.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, Wenatchee's kindergarten through 5th grade students will return to classrooms in less than 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Eastmont kids can expect to start filling up in-person classes on April 26th. That's when K through 4 students will re-enter full-time classes, followed by all upper grades on May 3rd. Superintendent Garn Christensen says those dates remain tentative and depend greatly on COVID-19 infection rates in the community. When students do return to fully to school buildings, hybrid instruction will have to end, with families choosing either 100% remote or 100% in-person schooling for their kids. All right, time now to take a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Here we are, and there is the beautiful Wenatchee Valley as we look down from our Omi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera. And boy, lots of clouds out there today. That really kept our temperature down. But at the same time, a cold front moved through. So the combination of the two, we all stayed pretty much in the 50s today with a little bit of a breeze out there. In fact, unofficial high today, boy, it wasn't very warm compared to 66 yesterday, only 54 unofficially this afternoon. 60 is our normal high temperature. We started off very mild at 43 degrees, just didn't warm up all that much. 39 is our normal low temperature. Look at that record high back in the beautiful April of 1977, 83 degrees. Record low in 1973 at 28 degrees. Sunrise this morning, 6:27, and the sun will set tonight at 7:40. Let's take a look at how our Thursday shapes up. Not a whole lot different than today, maybe a few less clouds, but we're still going to see some breezy conditions out there and some more cool temperatures. In fact, almost like today, mid to upper 50s in the Columbia Basin, 56 in Quincy, lower 50s back in the Wenatchee Valley, 53 in Wenatchee, 55 in Entiat. So we do warm up as we head up Highway 97, and Omak, the warm spot tomorrow at 59 degrees. Taking a look at tonight, cloudy skies in our forecast and breezy. You can see how tight these pressure gradients are. That's because low pressure here, high pressure here, it really squeezes them together and causes that wind. We could see isolated showers, and we will see heavy mountain snow tonight over Stevens Pass, so be very careful if you're traveling that way. A little more wind for Thursday too. Lots of sunshine though, but temperatures are going to be cool, only in the low 50s for your high temperature on Thursday. As we end our week on Friday, we're talking increasing clouds throughout the day. Here's another area of low pressure, and look at all of the snow and rain associated with that. That'll slide through during the day on Friday, and then by Friday night, yeah, that 40% chance that we'll see some rain showers. For Saturday, mostly sunny and more wind as that system moves to the east, but behind it, we will see unseasonably cool temperatures on Saturday with highs only in the low 50s, even upper 40s for the folks over in Spokane. And then Sunday, things begin to change. We'll see sunny skies and warmer temperatures. High pressure really begins to build out in the Pacific, and that means a warming trend as we get into Monday. In fact, sunny skies, temperatures will creep above normal, lower to mid 60s for high temperatures on Monday. You can see almost all of central and eastern Washington will be very mild. Tuesday then, things go crazy. Sunny skies, unseasonably warm temperatures as high pressure drags all of that tropical air up and into Washington State. We're talking highs Tuesday near 70 degrees. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight, 35 for our overnight low. Cool and windy as we get into Thursday, so a lot like today with highs around 53. 58 for Friday with the 40% chance of rain. Cool on Saturday too, and only 52. And then look at those temperatures next week. Monday and Tuesday, 64 Monday, and a high temperature 69 on Tuesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. One of the many moves the Seahawks made this offseason was to sign former Rams tight end Gerald Everett. The 6'4", 240-pounder out of Alabama played 4 seasons in Los Angeles before agreeing to a contract with Seattle. He says one of the biggest reasons he chose the Seahawks was new offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, for whom he played in L.A.
Well, when Shane first went to Seattle, I mean, obviously, the idea was always there. It lingered in my head. But also, you have to understand it's a business. And, Shane has definitely been pivotal in my career and definitely been a mentor and a coach. And, he's definitely just shown me the ropes. And, of course, we've had that tight-knit relationship since I've got in and still remains, obviously. And, yes, he was a factor in my decision coming to Seattle. But also, Seattle having a great organization and a winning culture and great players like Russ, DK, and, Bobby Wagner and a bunch of other guys. But just to pinpoint one reason would have to be, if I had to pick one, it would be Shane, for sure.
Everett says Waldron worked closely with Rams coach Sean McVay on a potent offense, which he expects now that he's in Seattle.
Well, they're getting a mastermind, similar to McVay. I think McVay and Shane put their heads together and you had the magic that we were able to whip up in Los Angeles. But having Shane in Seattle now, it's definitely, we're able to see really what he can do isolated away from the group and just, give him a new set of pieces and just see how he uses them. But, the fans and the 12 have to see, just how it all plays out.
In 4 years with the Rams, Waldron caught 127 passes for 1,389 yards and 8 touchdowns. He says he's happy to serve whatever role the Seahawks need him to play.
I'm trying to be the best player as possible, that I could possibly be, whether that be a tight end or receiver or a running back. Obviously, you guys know that I've, been utilized in multiple ways. And, I don't like to really just look at myself solely as a tight end, but to date, no, I don't think that I've really eclipsed or reached my peak. And I definitely think that, Russell in Seattle can assist me in doing so, and along with Pete and Shane, and as Shane has been doing. But I definitely think I can take the next step in Seattle.
Everett says he's really looking forward to working with Russell Wilson. Now, speaking of Russell Wilson, he was one of the players Carlos Dunlop reached out to during his 2 weeks of free agency prior to the Seahawks re-signing him. Dunlop says if he was returning to Seattle, he wanted to make sure Wilson was going to be back as his quarterback.
I did ask him if obviously he was going to be with us, because if I'm coming back because I see him as my quarterback. And the rest of the team, I want to pick up where we left off. And he told me that he's with us and he's here to stay. And he said, let's go Hawks. And I'm not going to quote his every word, or these words are not his words verbatim, but these are my explanation of how I interpreted what he said.
Dunlop came to Seattle in a midseason trade with Cincinnati last year. He says he hopes to be able to pick up where they left off and continue to improve.
With such a small sample of games I got opportunity to play in, and you're able to see what we were able to do and accomplish, I feel like if we can get that from the day one with off-season program and being in the OTAs and being in the meeting, learning the culture, I just feel like sky's the limit, because I feel like we were able to accomplish some great things last season in such a short period of time. I just want to build on that, and I wanted an opportunity to build on that. So I'm grateful, I get an opportunity to do that.
Carlos has been busy this offseason working at his restaurant in Miami, serving up Southern hospitality. He says the thing he's looking forward to most is getting to know everyone in Seattle.
Getting to know the guys, because, I was traded mid-season, and here I go with a whole slew of new names and faces, which, Dave and Jeff probably experienced a lot of it when they were pulling me, because, in Cincy, I was there for 10 and a half years, so I knew everybody, and I spoke to everybody because, one thing that you could not do in the hallway with me and Cincy was, walk by without speaking. So I always either said hello, good morning, whatever it was, to whomever, from the janitors, security guards, teammates, to the upper office, to whomever. It's just how I was raised, being in the South.
Dunlap and the Seahawks looking to improve on an NFC West championship and first-round playoff loss from a season ago. Well, just exactly what the Mariners didn't want to see. James Paxton had to come out of his first start back in a Seattle uniform in the second inning last night with discomfort in his left elbow. Paxton suffered a flexor strain last year with the Yankees that ended his season after just 5 starts. He says this doesn't feel as painful, but will undergo an MRI today to find out more. Manager Scott Service says they not only lost Paxton last night, but outfielder Jake Fraley as well.
Obviously disappointing to lose a ball game, but even more disappointing when you lose a couple players. So certainly the story tonight, Pax left the game, a strained muscle in his forearm. He'll get MRI tomorrow morning, and Jake Fraley, tweaked a hamstring pretty good, so he'll also get an MRI tomorrow morning. So disappointing, I know, for Pax and for all of us. Really looking forward to get him back, and I thought he could have been a big part of our rotation, but we'll just have to wait and see how the MRIs come out tomorrow and see where that leads us. So, the plan got off the rails a little bit when your starter leaves in the second inning. I thought Marge, gave up the home run, and after that he kind of settled in. I thought he did a pretty good job outside the curveball he left up to for the 2-run homer there in the 5th. And, offensively, we put a little pressure on him early. I thought Giolito, obviously he's got good stuff, really good changeup. But, we scratched some runs out against him and did have some pressure on him. But, tonight, the story, we gave up a few homers, but, it was the free bases. Had 4 walks, hit by pitch, and certainly Keenan Middleton's inning got away from him there in the 8th inning. So not a lot to write home about, but, hopefully those 2 players that came out of the game tonight will be able to bounce back here sooner rather than later. Just have to wait and see.
Now, by the way, both Paxton and Fraley underwent the MRIs today. They don't have the results as of yet, but both been placed on the 10-day injured list. Braden Bishop and L.J. Newsome have been called up in the meantime. The Mariners lost that game 10-4, surrendering 3 home runs on the night, including a grand slam in the 8th. Ty France was 3 for 5 at the plate with an RBI double. Tom Murphy went 2 for 2. Seattle will try to avoid the sweep tonight at 7:10. Justin Dunn makes his first start of the season against the White Sox Dallas Keuchel. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. On Thursday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I have a very special interview planned via Skype. I will be talking to the stars of Godzilla vs. Kong. That's right, I will have Godzilla and King Kong on this show tomorrow. That's the plan. Anyway, I've sent them emails. Haven't heard back from either one of them. So, Godzilla, Kong, if you're watching the show, check your spam filter. It may have ended up there. And if I can't get Godzilla and Kong on the show tomorrow, we'll just wing it. Sounds good? Stay out of the wind, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
During the Les Schwab Spring Tire Sale, save up to $200 when you bundle select tires, wheels, and brakes. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 7th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Life channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.